Isang matinding haraping supalpal ang naganap sa pagitan ng abogadong si Atty. Sheila at ni Representative Abante. Ayon sa mga ulat, hindi nakapagpigil si Atty. Sheila at diretsahang pinagsabihan si Abante na huwag maging bida-bida dahil wala naman itong alam sa tunay na nangyayari. Ang tensyonadong tagpo ay naging mitsa ng mas malalim na diskusyon tungkol sa diumano'y panloloko na pinaplano ni Trillanes at Luistro. Marami ang naniniwala na ang binitiwang salita ni Atty. Sheila ay matibay na ebidensya na mayroong scripted na sabwatan sa likod ng mga isyong ipinupukol sa administrasyon. Ang publiko ay naghihintay na ngayon ng opisyal na pahayag mula sa kampo ni Trillanes at Luistro upang linawin ang mga seryosong akusasyon laban sa kanila. Magtatagumpay kaya sila sa pagtatago ng katotohanan o tuluyan na silang mabibisto?
Apologize for that. The truth is, we had a problem looking for this venue, setting this up. So kaya medyo na late po yung aming media advisory. So again, good afternoon today. With me, as you know, are members of the defense team led by Attorney Sheila Sison to my left, Attorney Carlo Joaquin Narvasa, and Attorney Ralph Podota to my right. So we're all here because, as you know, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo na sa totoo lang, malimit talaga magpa-press. Gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo na sa totoo lang, malimit talaga magpa-press con ang defense team. Kahit last year, nung unang round ng impeachment, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi talaga kami nagpapa-press con because as much as possible, we do not want everything to be like a trial by publicity. We do not want to litigate through the media. So it's just with developments yesterday. I believe there are so many media queries that are sent to me all night. So minarapat na namin na sagutin kayo kahit generally lang dahil syempre, as you know, we cannot disclose fully our legal strategy. And as we said, hindi naman kami yung tipo ng mga abogado na gusto nakikipagdebate sa media. We would rather do this through the processes, and probably even in the impeachment court kung umabot doon. So yesterday, alam naman natin yung mga naging issues. It's the SALN, and then of course the AMLAC or AMLC report, and then all the others pa like yung SEC, BIR, and all that. So ang main focus naman kasi, and of course the testimony of former Senator Trillanes, So mirapat lang namin na sagutin yon sa inyo. Although hihingi ulit ako ng paumanhin dahil nga hindi magiging madetalyeng sagot namin. One, dahil we only received the documents earlier today, this morning, at sa totoo lang we haven't had the chance or the time to really peruse over all of these documents that were given to us by the House. And secondly, as you know, our position has been firm, and that's why we filed a petition before the Supreme Court questioning the proceedings. And thirdly, it's because kailangan malinaw sa atin kung ano ba talaga ang sakop ng isang impeachable offense. Diba? Very clear naman po sa Sara Duterte versus House of Representatives yung huling desisyon ng ating Supreme Court ng impeachable offense only refers to offenses allegedly committed while the impeachable officer is occupying that impeachable office. So we're talking about 2022 to present. So kailangan po malinaw sa atin yon. And of course, legally, kung pwede lang, we will confine ourselves to that. But naiintindihan ko naman the questions that the public may have. And that's why we are here today to try and answer all of your questions. So without further ado, perhaps we can already start with the questioning.
Pangit naman nung echo. May echo. Ayusin natin yung mic.
Good afternoon po, Atty. Powell and to other lawyers. I'm Camille Manto po from TV5. Sir, ano pong plano ng defense team kung paano niyo po dedepensahan o I know na nag-release na po ng statement si Vice President Sara Duterte denying the accusations of former Senator Trillanes and yung mga naging findings po dun sa kanyang sal-elat ng AMLAC. Pero paano mo susunod na depensahan kung sinasabi po ng piso na lahat kanyang pera, ari-arian ay idinitira sa salin niya. Pero hindi po nagtutugma doon sa findings mismo doon sa mga dokumento na pinisenta kahapon, maging yung mga financial records and transactions po na ipinakita ng Anti-Money Laundering Council.
Opo. Actually, ma'am, yung salitang hindi nagtutugma is a conclusion in itself. No? Yan yung posisyon namin. Para po sa amin, actually, wala naman pong hindi nagtutugma. Perhaps it's just the way that things were presented. Obviously, as I said, we cannot disclose how we will defend the Vice President. But yung nangyari kahapon, of course, is something we already expected as a defense team, lalong-lalo na nung alam natin na nitong committee hearings, nababalitaan natin yung mga subpoenas. So, we were expecting those things, but yung gusto ko lang i-clarify, yung hindi nagtutugma, yan yung misconception na gusto natin maklarify today, no? Through responding to your questions.
Share nyo ho tong video na to, syempre, para ika nga yung mga hindi nagtutugma, yung bakit wala yung nakadeklarang cash at saka pera sa bangko ni VP Sara dito sa mga taon na sali na to, masasagot na ho lahat yan dito sa video na to. Ako.
Again,
Ito na.
we cannot go into details on how we will defend, but syempre iba kasi, ang point namin is yun nga iba yung pag nasa trial na tayo kasi at least doon we can test the credibility not only of the witnesses but even the documents that are being presented.
Are you saying, sir, na yung mga pinresenta, for example, yung mga allegations po na ipinakita ng mga dokumento ni former Senator Trillanes, is not credible enough kahit na nung tinanong po ito sa AMLAC ay na-confirm naman nila?
No, I like to correct that. No, I don't want also the former senator to also get a misimpression that I'm not saying it's not credible. What we're saying is we don't know, and we need to test the credibility of all these things. In fact, even in the Justice Committee, di ba, ang sinasabi nila, we're only here for probable sa credibility just yet, di ba ganun din? So, that is why, kaya nga may trial. Kasi kung yung mga bagay na yan, credible na. So, ano pa ang, ba't pa tayo mag-impeachment trial, di ba? So, kami talaga, we believe that pagdating ng panahon, kung talagang ito ma-transmit sa impeachment court, we are confident that we will be able to show na walang katotohanan yung hindi nagtutugma, no? Yung mga pinakita kahapon dun sa mismong salin. It's siguro I don't want to get into details, but I'm also not saying na kasinungalingan yung mga present kahapon. What I'm saying is the way it's presented. No, the way it's presented, doon tayo magkakaroon ng pagkakataluhan. Kung accurate ba yung presentation na gano'n.
Yeah.
Next, DJ Mendoza na 25.
Parang nanggagaling sa kuwebo no?
I understand. Gusto mo muna tayo sa may AMLAC
Intindihin na lang ho natin, intindihin natin.
report. Nung kahapon, namili randomly pick ng 18 transactions, if I'm not mistaken, then parang tila sabi ng iba ay vindicated na si Senator Trillanes with those mga sinasabi na ng unang pahayag before. Ano yung komento ng Vice President regarding dun sa mga naging pahayag dito si Senator Trillanes at dun sa lumalabas sa AMLAC report?
Well, sa amin naman, we don't really want to comment on the vindicated or anything like that. Kasi ang posisyon talaga namin, vindication will come once it's all presented in the impeachment court and we're able to cross-examine all the witnesses and to test the evidence. No? Pagdating sa AMLAC, as I've said, it's a matter of presentation kasi. No? And I think marami na rin lumalabas na post. So, siguro, dadaanin ko na kahit paano without going into the details. I think nakikita naman natin sa mga posts that the way the AMLAC numbers are presented, aggregate kasi yan. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng withdrawals mo, lahat ng deposits mo pagdating sa inflow and outflow, pinagsama-sama. So, simplihan ko lang. Meron akong 1,000 pesos. Diniposit ko. Withdraw ko. Diba? Ang lalabas sa total transactions mo, 2,000 na.
2,000
Pero
na.
actually, ang nasa bangko mo, 0 na. Diba? So, ganun kasimple, no? Now, and so kaya sinasabi namin na, again, hindi ko sinasabing maling AMLAC. I want to show due respect naman to AMLAC. But the way that AMLAC data is normally presented is that it is an aggregate of all transactions. Siguro balikan natin yung 2017, di ba nagkaroon ng issue na dyan noon. At in fact, AMLAC issued an official statement saying na hindi accurate yung accounts in terms of account balances or what is actually inside the bank account of a person kasi aggregate yung ginagawang number. So lahat ng inflows dyan, lahat ng outflows dyan, ina-add up lang. Kaya may tendency talaga na maging bloated, no, yung figures. Kahapon din may napag-usapan na i-net na lang natin, ba? Inflows minus outflows or outflows minus inflows net. So yun pa rin yun. Nakikita ko yung point nun, no? And with due respect din sa mga nag-raise, nakikita ko yung point. But our point naman is, kung bloated na yung outflow mo, tsaka bloated na yung inflow mo, edi bloated din yung net, di ba? So doon na kami pinanggagalingan. Again, I don't want to go into the details na, but para lang maintindihan ng taong bayan na ganun kasi the way it's presented. Ina-add lahat ng deposits, ina-add lahat ng pumasok bali sa account mo, ina-add lahat ng lumabas. But it is not determinative or conclusive as to magkano ba talaga yung nasa loob ng account. And we are talking about transactions.
Galing nitong si Atty. Michael po, wala paano natin. Yan ang pagpapaliwanag, PH. Dapat yan ang pinag-aaralan mo kung paano ka makakapagpaliwanag ng kagaya niyan. Nakatawa ko. Tagal, abogado yan eh. Meron lang tayo sa social media, mga kababayan. Galing, napakasimple. Pero ika nga pati yung grade 1 maiintindihan. Pagka hindi nyo pa ho naiintindihan yun, dalawang bagay lang ho yan. Una, tumatanggap kayo ng pera sa Malacanang o di naman ho kaya, ayaw nyong intindihin yung kung ano nga ba talaga yung ilinabas ng mga figure ng AMLAC diyan sa mini trial nitong Injustice Committee.
Over 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. Over 18 years. So, yun ang magiging, talagang para sa amin, it's bloated talaga ang number.
Ang tindi ho nito mga kababayan, nagbenta sila ng lupa 1 milyon. Di ba? Pumasok. Tapos bumili sila ng lupa, bumili sila ng panibagong lupa 1 milyon. Anak ng toko yung 1 milyon na pinagbentahan, naging 2 milyon sa AMLAC. Walang pa. Siyempre pumasok. Tapos ilalabas, pambili ulit. Oh. Naging 2 milyon yung 1 milyon. Isipin nyo na lang ho yung 18 years yun. Labas-pasok yung pera. Na Petrang Garapata, yung mga tagi 1,000 ang pera sa bank account, malamang sa malamang, milyonaryo yan sa AMLA. Yung taga 100,000 naman ang pera dyan sa bangko, malamang sa malamang, milyonaryo na yan sa AMLA. Diba? 100 milyon na yung pera niya sa labas-pasok eh. Oh. Ngayon yung mga milyonaryo, bilyonaryo ho yan sa AMLA.
Sir, dapat bang pag-usapan pa sa impeachment yung SAIL ni VP Sara ng mga panahon na Vice Mayor and Mayor siya?
Of course, para sa amin hindi. No? Because obviously, ano ba ang purpose ng impeachment? Di ba ang basis ng impeachment is meron tayong impeachable offenses. Ang impeachable offenses ay offenses, again, committed while the impeachable officer is in office as an impeachable officer. So, ibig sabihin nun, doon lang sa time na vice-presidente siya. So, yung mga 2000, may 2005 pa ba? 2006, 2007, na hindi naman siya impeachable officer, hindi na yan saklaw ng impeachment proceedings.
Next is Andrew Tercesa of Empower. Attorney, VP Sara just released a statement po earlier denying the allegations about the billions in bank accounts, also hitting COA and AMLAC. Does the Vice President plan to say her latest statement in front of the House Committee on Justice? Will she ever attend the House Committee on Justice hearing on her impeachment?
Again, her attendance, or should I say non-attendance, is based on the position of the defense, no, regarding the jurisdiction or the lack thereof in terms of the type or the nature of proceedings that are being conducted. So, pagdating naman dyan, I think kaya nga sinapubliko na lang niya yung statement niya. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nito na ayaw rumisponde o sumagot ng ating Vice Presidente sa paratang. Parati namin sinasabi, alam ko medyo gasgas na siguro nga natin yung appropriate forum. Pero naniniwala naman kasi talaga kami na kung talagang aakyat ito sa Senate impeachment, makikita nyo yung sagot ng defense sa lahat ng paratang na ito.
Bella Kaya sa the Philippines Star. Good afternoon po. I believe yung interview si Congresswoman Leila de Lima, and ang sabi niya, yung 6.7 billion na dinisclose ng AMLAC, pwede daw mag-constitute as ill-gotten wealth kay Vice President. Ano po yung reaction niya dito?
Well, I respect Congresswoman De Lima, former Senator De Lima, and she's entitled to her opinion. No? Sa amin naman, ang plano lang namin is to show why those numbers are actually inaccurate.
And second question.
And si Attorney Sheila would like to also add on to that.
Just in addition to what Mike had already said, I think what's important for us to understand at this point is that a mere presentation of supposed evidence before a committee that is not authorized to conduct trial does not really amount to proof. And the reason for that is really simple. It's because every evidence, whether it's something that you present in an ordinary case or in this case in an impeachment proceeding, must still survive scrutiny. And when does that happen? When does scrutiny happen? It happens only in a proper trial before a tribunal or a body that has jurisdiction to conduct trial. And that is something that the defense has been very clear from the very start. The reason why we had already stated that we will not be able to participate in a proceeding that we think is unconstitutional and goes beyond the powers that have clearly been identified by the Constitution to belong not in the House of Representatives or any of its committees, but in the Senate alone.
Second question po. Sabi kanina din ni Congresswoman Luis Pro, April 29, ang papatawag nila yung NBI chief si Matibag. And then sabi niya, yun na lang ang last hearing para magbotohan para dun sa impeachment ni VP. So, ina-expect mo po ba na-act na ito sa Senate at may numbers ang mga nagsusunod dito? And considering ko na wala pong PR o kayo na nakuha sa Supreme Court. Thank you.
Opo, medyo marami po yung tanong, no? But first and foremost, I don't want to preempt the vote of the Committee on Justice pagdating sa finding of probable cause na gagawin nilang botohan. Secondly, I also don't want to preempt the House itself. Diba? Bigyan naman natin ng respeto yung House.
Bigyan natin respeto kahit hindi sila ka-respeto, di ba, Atty. Poa?
Ano lang natin, pero ang defense team, ready kami sa kung ano man mangyari. Like we've been saying, no, last year, we have been preparing for trial na dahil kahit nag-file tayo ng petition sa Supreme Court, hindi pa naman natin alam kung ano yung magiging desisyon nun. So we were preparing. And until today, we are still preparing. So, ano na lang po tayo, no? I don't want to preempt, I don't want to speculate kung may boto man o walang House. I think it's best directed to the House members themselves. Pero kami, we're just ready for any eventuality.
Next is Rory Mendoza from Philippines.
Hi po, good afternoon po, attorneys. Meron of course nagsabi po my first question is, nagsabi po si Congressman Benny Abante kahapon sa hearing kahapon na the only way for the Vice President to answer the allegations is to face the impeachment court. I mean, or the Committee on Justice hearing. I mean, nagmamakawa pa nga siya na dapat daw pumunta ko si VP sa hearing para ma-hear yung side niya. And there's also a recent interview by former Coroner Defense Counsel Judge Roy na sinabi niya na pagpunta daw ni VP sa Committee on Justice is the strategic way for her to defend herself. What's your thought on those comments po?
Well, as to yung strategic way or not, I think our position has been very clear. It's about jurisdiction to conduct the proceedings that we feel are already bordering on trial, no? If not trial itself. So yun naman talaga yun. It wasn't really anything strategic. It was really something we had to file based as lawyers doon sa nakikita naming developments. Ngayon, pagdating naman po doon sa pagsagot, like Attorney Sheila said, scrutiny can only be had when we are also allowed to test the evidence, present our side, and that will be the impeachment court in the Senate.
Dagdag ko lang, no? While I respect the opinion of Representative Abante, I think he also knows, I'm certain that he is aware na ang tamang venue o ang tamang panahon para mag-conduct ng trial o para sagutin at magbigay kami ng ebidensya ang Vice Presidente ay hindi sa Committee on Justice.
Yan.
Ito ay before the impeachment court. Ibig sabihin sa Senado. Hindi naman ito I think this is something important that we all need to understand. Hindi maaari na sinasabi lang natin, dapat dito kayo sa komite, dito kayo sa komite. Kasi kailangan lang natin basahin ng konstitusyon. Sino ba ang impeachment court?
Yan.
Ito ba ang Committee on Justice? Hindi.
Nako, Benny Abante. Nako, tinarayan ka na ni Atty. Sheila. Ito si Atty. Sheila, matara ito. Hindi to madadaan sa mga pabanat-banat ni Abante dyan sa Injustice Committee. Banatan mo, Atty. Sheila. Wala pa natin ito, Atty. Hindi, bakit ba? Bakit ba?
Ito ba ang House of Representatives? Hindi rin. So sino? According to the Constitution, ang impeachment court, if that even will be constituted, ay ang Senado. So, ang ibig kong sabihin, the defense and the Vice President are ready to respond in detail, again, before the proper forum,
Yan.
and during a fair trial.
Last lang po on my end. Ito po, naungkat din po ito dun sa hearings, yung sinasabing return, yung pagpapabalik ng mga sinasabing confidential funds na according to sa Commission Auditor. But what's your take po doon? I mean, ano pong reaction po ng defense team sa paglalabas ng mga dokumento na ito regarding sa confidential funds?
Thank you, Red. I think you're referring to the decision of the Commission proper. I'll be very candid. Nandun ako sa hearing na yun di ba? Kung napapansin nyo, sumisilip nga ako sa phone ni Attorney Camora. Kasi, nagulat ako. The Office of the Vice President or the persons that are accountable, supposed allegedly doon sa ND, hindi pa sila naserban ng copy nung ND bago
Ako.
in-announce yung decision na yon. In fact, hanggang ngayon, wala
Surprise.
pa rin kaming natatanggap. Ang natatanggap pa lang namin ay syempre yung galing sa House na binibigay nila sa amin. Pero yung mismong
Galing
from
COA.
COA itself, and I keep on checking with the accountable officers named in that decision, kung nakuha na nila or kami bilang councils, wala pa rin kami natatanggap actually. Ngayon, pagdating sa restitution, hindi pa po panahon para pag-usapan ang restitution because hindi pa po final yung decision na yan. Let me clarify that. After a decision is rendered by the Commission proper that is adverse, in this case, to the accountable officers of the OVP, meron pa pong 30-day period within which we can file an MR or actually, upon denial of the MR or motion for reconsideration, we will go up to the Supreme Court based on Rule 64 of the Rules of Court. At yan po ay nasa COA rules mismo. So we just wanted to clarify para lang
Yung kasing pagbabalik ng pera, pinapabalik. Hindi pa. May motion for reconsideration pa. Di naman kaya, rektang Supreme Court na. Pero kung ako sa inyo, Atty. Powa, di ako abogado, meron lang ako dito, rekta ng Korte Suprema yan. Anak ng toko, naglabas nga sila ng pinababalik nga nila yung pera, tapos hindi man kayo nabigyan ng kopya. Oo. O, paano pa kayo makakaasa na magiging parehas yung ano na yan, yung kung mag-hahain kayo ng MR? Rekta na sa Korte Suprema.
Ang klaro tayo lahat dito. The commission proper has decided, yes, wala pa kaming kopya. And secondly, hindi pa po final yan dahil may remedies pa po ang mga officials ng OVP. Again, motion for reconsideration within 30 days. And then, upon denial, kung ano man ang balanse ng 30-day period na yon, ay maaari pa kaming umakyat sa Supreme Court on Rule 64. At doon lang po sa desisyon ng Supreme Court magiging final itong disallowance na ito.
Ms. Maricel Ordeño of Joking News.
Without necessarily going into details, like how would you explain yung actually medyo nakakagulat? Itong more than 600 suspicious transactions at pinimension yung almost 7 billion na amount na binanggit. Like,
Saan kayang news outfit to? Ano kaya network nitong tips na reporter na to?
sa part ng defense team, like without necessarily going into details, like how would you address yung allegations sa
Yes.
kahapon?
Hindi ka nakikinig, in-address na nga kanina eh. Yung billion na yun yung naglabas-masok. May 1,000 si Atty. Poa, pinasok sa bank account. Ngayon, ilinabas niya, 2,000 na bilang doon. Di ka kasi nakikinig, cellphone ka na cellphone eh. Kung di ka nakikinig, labas ka dyan, langya ka.
Just stick with the facts, no? Kasi nga ayaw nating parang nagdedebate tayo sa media, di ba? So we'll just stick with the facts. Ano po ba ang suspicious transaction report? Ang laman po niyan ay suspicious transactions. Ang ibig po sabihin, suspicious transactions does not equate to any wrongdoing or unlawful activity. Perhaps the bank thought or tagged it as suspicious, so umakyat no, sa AMLAC, nagkaroon ng suspicious transaction report. Ngayon, hindi naman ibig sabihin nun, illegal na kaagad, or may money laundering na kaagad, or may krimen na kaagad. In fact, magti-trigger lang yon para sa AMLAC na tingnan at kung gusto nilang imbestigahan, at yun po ang nangyari. In fact, kanina, when the legal team and I, the defense team and I were perusing over the documents, wala kasi kaming time eh, so nagpa-browse lang kami. Napansin namin dun sa attachment ng suspicious transaction report, ang naging basis nila for that was media reports on the confidential funds, on the committee hearings, regarding in relation to the confidential funds. So, maaring yun yung nag-trigger sa bank, no? And yun lang yung naging basehan ng bank, kaya nagkaroon ng suspicious transaction report. But again, I don't want to speculate on that. Yun lang yung nabasa namin. So, wala pa kaming time para bigyan kayo ng full picture. But at least we want that established that a suspicious transaction does not necessarily mean or does not automatically equate to any wrongdoing or any unlawful activity. Pagdating naman po dun sa pangalawang yung tanong na bilyon at sabi nyo nga nakakagulat, marami ring nagulat. Totoo naman po yun, no? Kahit naman sino siguro magagulat kung ganun yung amounts. But again, doon po kami nanggagaling sa how is an AMLAC report presented. Diba? It is the aggregate of all, ang tawag nga nila ay inflows and outflows. So lahat ng deposit, lahat ng withdrawal, ina-add nilang lahat yon. At least yun yung posisyon namin at pananaw namin o pagkakaintindi namin sa reports ng AMLAC, no? Na ina-add lang nila lahat yun over a span of 18 years. So it doesn't give us a clear picture kung magkano ba talaga yung pera na nasa bangko. Kasi kung meron kang 5,000, 20,000 na dinideposit mo kada buwan, wini-withdraw mo, etc., etc., pag ina-add mo yung lahat over a span of 18 years, talagang magiging malaki yung amount, magiging bloated, no? And that is why we're saying that these things, no, we just have to be very cautious on how we look at it. Again, I'm not saying na mali yung report ng AMLAC, wala kaming sinasabing ganyan. What we're saying is we have to be cautious on how to take those figures that were being given out yesterday. And as you know, the Vice President in her statement already denied, all these things na may ganun siyang kalaking pera na pumasok sa kanyang bangko at any point in time. Okay.
Sir, they giving kahapon ng mga congressmen na nag-raise ng
Kung magtataray na naman si...
violate laws. Pero as the
Akala ko si Ma'am Atty. Sheila.
President, you think rights of the people were violated. If so, ano ang specifically?
Ako sa ngayon, if I can be honest with you, hindi ko muna didiretso yung sagutin yan. Of course, we have our own position and you'll know it at the proper time.